So, how much delta V do we have left in the stage? Oh, we've got enough to get to the moon. Badoom. 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 Definitely going to plan a maneuver for this because... Oh, we're almost in the right spot for it, too. It would be nice if we could do it on this loop. The time to node is too low. You know what? No, I'm going to skip it. Cancel this maneuver. Let me do a quick save. We'll just warp a little bit here. Because we're going to have to start like way back here or something ridiculous. Maybe not quite that far back. But we are going to start quite a bit further back than we would normally like to. Whoop. Well, maybe not as far back as I was afraid of. An encounter over there. So now, we can focus the view on the moon. And let's go ahead and open up our editor over here. There we go. Ideally, we'd like to be a little bit closer. Such a long burn, I'm worried about like the actual precision of these calculations. But let's assume that will work out for us. All right, flight computer, face the node, execute the maneuver when we get there. It's going to be a 4-minute burn. Now, we do have... Why are my numbers changing? Wasn't burning or anything. No, I think the rotation, something changed. Something angular, maybe? I wasn't... No, because we had 5 minutes of fuel. I don't think that changed anything. How are my numbers? No, my orbit's exactly the same. Okay. Anyway, you're facing the maneuver. You're ready to execute the planned maneuver. We're going to quick save, and then we're going to time warp. All our supplies are good. Electric charge is dropping slightly because we are in the shade. I could probably start training the crew. I don't know how much power that uses. Because if we're in orbit, if we're in space, they can train up to level 1, which is as far as they're going to get anyway. Oh, this has lights, too. There's little lights on the side. Right there. See? Is it instant? Oh, I didn't realize it was instant. That's great. So we have a bunch of level 1 scientists now, which is going to be nice. We could start research. Sure, why not? We got a little bit of data in there. You know what? No. I'm worried about running out of power or something, especially during the landings. Let's not risk it. Okay. Go, go. Ooh. Science! We're putting it in the container, and then we're going to transmit it back home. Okay, time warp. Now, we have a specific mission to get science from MUN, I think. High and low, but it has to be the right kind of science. Hopefully we brought the right experiments. Well, we basically have all the experiments. So I think we're okay. Sindho, thank you very much for the sub. I like this training academy. It looks cool. It's quite large, but it does a lot, and it's got a lot of capacity. One of the things UKS does provide is a lot of these all-in-one components. But it also does something unique, this training thing, which is not in the game, and I think is neat. I like the idea of training the astronauts there, instead of doing more of those random sort of just fly around, collect random XP missions. I mean, you should be able to train people on the ground, in a sense. I think the highest you can train people up to is level 3. I think you can do the training on the ground on Kerbal and get them to level 1. If you're in space, you can get to level 2, and if you're on another planet or body, I think you can get to 3. Either that, or it's like it's level 2 on another planet and 1 in space. Time warp. We're now 8 minutes away. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 to the node. I was going to say, should start killing a maneuver. Oh no, that was a science thing very briefly. 20 seconds from now, we'll start the maneuver over here. There it is. Time warp is canceled, and the burn has begun. I don't think it should have problems facing the right way. We've got gimbaling on here. We've got a couple of reaction wheels, or a relatively stable design. Oh, before I think I was looking at the wrong stats. The moon base does have like over 400 days of food and water, so that's good. Dan's Luscious Hair just subscribed. Thank you very much for the sub. Good name. Such a long burn. And we can't fast forward through this one. Because, well, I suppose we could physics warp, but I think that would be a bad idea. So what we're going to do is we're going to play Kerbal until we have landed this mission on the moon. We'll do all the science experiments that we can in place, and then we're going to switch over to the multiplayer. Actually, this is a good time for me to go and email all the subscribers with the password and info on how to connect to the private Team Fortress 2 server. So make sure your TF2 is fully up to date. The server should be up and functional. TF2 server info. Email active subscribers. But damn. Even if you've never played TF2 before, don't worry, you'll probably still be better than I am. And send. So you should, in theory, get this in your email in a few minutes. Sometimes Twitch is very slow. You can also check your Twitch inbox. And even that might take a few minutes. And this is for subscribers. Oh, and I should prep for the TF2. Like, I'm ready. So, you know, I've just finished my can of the Coke Zero, which means that just in time for our moon landing and our Team Fortress 2, I may have, you know, a little something to assist with that. Helps me shoot straighter. Such a long burn. Last time I saw a burn this bad, I was watching Jon Stewart insult George Bush or something. And it doesn't really work. I was trying for something. Oh yeah, I gotta check that mission. Alright. Mission. Over here. I always forget about this. I keep like trying to read the missions on the other thing. Surface of the moon, plant flag on moon. Surface outpost on the moon, which hopefully we've got everything we need. Yep. Orbital station around Kerbal. You know what? This almost would have counted for this mission if we had more fuel. Because we don't have to keep it there. We could just have it and then go. Parked it for a little while. On Duna on Ike. Okay, I thought... Confused. Duna? Did we not have a science one for Moon? Maybe we didn't. Oh, I guess we had the Minmus one. Oh, okay. Alright, that's good. That takes some of the stress away. Alright, 17 seconds left in this maneuver. Let's hope that it works. Hopefully it's accurate. Bum, 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 bum. And encounter, and it's closing in. Oh, whoa. There it is. Wow, that was weird and disturbing for a second there. Okay, not bad, but not quite there. We want orbital prograde. Are you turning? Yeah, slowly. We'll do a little quick little time warp to help stop the acceleration, make sure it doesn't overshoot. Although, I forget, the flight computer is really good with reaction wheels. Okay, one tap of shift, especially with our low thrust to weight, this should be real easy. Just bring it down. I don't want to bring it down too low because when I do close my orbit here, especially with such a low thrust to weight ratio, certainly we're going to be dropping our periapsis as we try to close this loop. So we don't want it too low because it's going to drop anyway. I mean, ideally I'd like to be in like a 15K orbit, but that's fine. Arguably I actually went a little too low. We can kill the flight computer. I don't care about the rotation lock anymore. Can center on ourselves. Come back over here. Good. How much delta V do we have left in this stage? 400. That's not going to be quite enough to circularize, although it'll be most of the way there. Actually, let's see here. Oh. Keeps teasing me with that science. Focus view. And we add a maneuver. Bring it over here. And retro. Oh, actually, it's going to be more than enough to close the orbit. And, in fact, circularize. Good. I'm not going to try to round it off any more than that. That's going to be plenty nice. 300 delta V to get it done. Here, lock yourself to that node. And actually, I won't set yourself to execute the maneuver until we're in the sphere of influence, just because the actual time to the maneuver might change ever so slightly. Alright, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to time warp, so let's go ahead and quick save one more time. There it is. Ooh, irradiance scan. That's a new one. And new multispectral analysis. This is from high orbit. Kerbin's ocean-covered surface results. Missing Scaverat and RPGness. Thank you very much for the resub. UV and IR scans of Kerbin's atmosphere reveal many details about its composition. It consists primarily of oxygen and nitrogen. Transmit. Low visible, light and bleedo. Cool. Process, and we'll transmit. Should make a list of required DV for certain destinations. Help a lot with the construction. Actually, there are charts for that. At this point, I sort of just have them kind of eyeballed in my head, whatever that means. But there are pretty good charts for that. The number to reach orbit around Kerbin is always going to be a little bit fuzzy because it depends a lot on your ship aerodynamics and things. But after that, it starts to become a lot more consistent. I mean, here we're pretty good. This is basically what I was looking to do. It's all working out almost perfectly that this will bring us to the moon, will circularize us, and then we're done. We can use it a tiny bit to help deorbit us, but that's actually like beyond the scope. It wasn't even needed to do that. It's only going to have like 100 delta V left. That's not the button I want. This is the button I want. Vroom. And vroom. Squill thought that the battery life should be on a half month. The moon is blocked off from Kerbin half month at a time. The moon is, but that's not the day-night cycle. Or is it? It's tidally locked. No, it's not. Yes. I don't know. Anyway, we're in the moon. Multispectral analysis. Analysis of the moon's surface reveals uniform terrain broken up by scattered craters. Process. Reflective regolith on the moon's surface gives the moon a very high albedo in most of the UV to near infrared range. Transmit that. Process that. Yeah, how long is a Kerbin month? Because you're right. we're going to be in the dark for half a month at a time. Because tidally locked, the same side always faces... Oh well. We'll find out. Alright, hold maneuver, execute maneuver when we get there. It'll be an hour and 20 minutes. So horrible, horrible things might happen. Okay. That's maybe a little too fast. Well, no, we still have quite some time before it's time for the maneuver. Bring that down. There we go. You kill that completely. Oh, and we get another scan. Let's do that. We can go ahead and deploy our legs now before I forget them. We don't need them yet, but what the hell, right? Transmit. And we do have satellites in orbit here, so we will often have a connection back home, which is nice. Okay, it's going to start the burn in 2 minutes. Let's go up to times 10 here. More scans. Oops, lost the telescope one. Probably just passed over a crater. Got lots of data in our little pod. And transmit. We're going to start the burn in just over a minute. Let's time warp a tiny bit for that to happen. Ooh, more science. We got a tip over here. Greetings from Germany. Oh, Syntho. Have fun dodging bullets in TF2. Yeah. Da-da-da-da. Be happy if I can just land a single bullet. And we're 20 seconds away. We can time warp a tiny bit again. Flight computer will de-time warp us. There we go. And it starts the burn. We've got enough fuel for this. This will circularize us. And hopefully our periapsis doesn't drop too much. It is definitely dropping. And the problem is we have to start the burn a fair bit before the periapsis because it's a really, really long burn. And actually, looking at it now that I can zoom in, the maneuver is not exactly on the peri. But that's okay. I mean, worst case scenario, our periapsis gets a little too low. Then at our APO, we can burn prograde and just bring it up again to the point where we're comfortable. Highest mountain on the moon is about, I think, 7 kilometers. So we still have a lot of margin for error. Yay, more scans. There we go. Let's bring it down. 20 seconds left to this burn. And here it comes. We are now in lunar orbit. The music just changed. Yeah, our peri is dropping too low. And actually, just kill the maneuver completely. Actually, our peri not only is too low, but it's also ahead of... Well, it's not necessarily in death range, but it ain't good. Let's go to Orbital Radial Plus, which we should be able to use to rotate, sort of, in a sense, our orbit around. Now, we're going to use the last of our Delta V here to try to fixify this. Damn, these low thrust-to-weight ratio maneuvers. There we go. So we're just raising it over here. Raising the peri, dropping the apo at the same time. There we go. That's plenty good. Got a little left in the tank. Plan another maneuver. Try to zoom in a little bit more on the peri over here. There we go. And retro. Oops. That was happening fast. There we go. As soon as the app starts to move over there. Good. Good, good. Face the node and execute the maneuver when we get there. Just a little 2-second burn. Get the job done. Okay, we're facing the right way. As soon as we finish facing the right way, I will go ahead and time warp. Whoa. Crew report. Multispectral analysis. Orbital telescope, which I think has to deploy. Oh. Transmit. There we go. There's the telescope. Transmit. Some more bits and pieces are being opened up over here. And we've got a lot more science experiments with us, but a lot of them have been done in orbit already. But landing should be a new biome set of things. Okay, everything's transmitted. Everything's good. Let's go ahead and time warp again. Oh, new biome. Oops. Nope, we missed one. Probably just over a crater. The little craters are hard to catch. Two minutes, 1 minute. Should freeze that. And starts the burn. Drops the apoapsis. Oh, our thrust to weight is really good now because we have like no fuel left. Okay. Good. I have 70 delta V. I'm going to go ahead and jettison this now so that we don't have to worry about it later on. We could use it a little bit to decelerate, but it's not going to do much for us. And the complication of decoupling, which I could have staged manually, I suppose, followed by changing my mech jeb. So say control from here. You can see our delta V go from 0 to 1281 now that we're facing the right way. Oh yeah, and this gets confused because of the it's kill rotation, and all of a sudden it's like 90 degrees off. There you go. Just stop where you are. It's okay. Actually, just time warp for a sec. There we are. Are you confused? Does the flight computer... Oh, maybe that's what was causing some of the issues. I'm thinking the flight computer may not realize that the up direction has changed. If I tell you to go orbital retrograde, Mr. Flight Computer, how are you going to face yourself? Because you're definitely not doing the right job with the kill rotation. Okay, it looks like you are going orbital retrograde for here. Now, this is sort of moot because I'm not using the flight computer for the actual landing. I'm using the regular SAS.